Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best value for their whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems. David Beard, CRM Principal, and Jeff Richards, Head of Training Program Development for Sage CRM, spend time chatting with customers, resellers, and others about Sage CRM in action around the globe. Today, as usual, I'm joined by my colleague Jeff. Hello, Jeff.
Hello everyone.
And from Worcester, here in the UK, is Danny Lewis from Qmulus Solutions. Hi, Danny.
Hello.
Qmulus talk about themselves as the specialist CRM provider in the UK and indeed further afield too. A real passion and a real long-term history with the Sage CRM product. So we'll be speaking today on all sorts of themes, and I hope you can stay with us for the next episode or three to understand Danny and what he brings to the market.
Thanks for inviting me onto this podcast. My name is Daniel Lewis. I work for Qmulus Solutions, and we are a Sage CRM partner in the UK. We've been working with the product, most of the employees have been working with the product for around 10 to 15 years now, and have done work with both small businesses right the way up to large multinational corporate businesses. So have a lot of experience in implementing Sage CRM both into small companies and into large businesses.
So there's quite a few, correctly said, person years in your company. When did you first start with CRM? How did you get into it?
I originally, many years ago, was a software developer. Through various reasons, I went to work for a company to write them a bit of software, which was like an estimating tool, effectively, and worked for them for a while. And then when that was written, went to look for some extra work. I found a job role really at a Sage business partner almost 20 years ago now, and went there as a network technician. So I was doing hardware, networking and any issues on that side. But along the way, because I'd actually been writing software on and off, when I started to see technical queries, technical questions coming into the support tickets on the support desk, I started answering some of the CRM related support tickets that were very simple, bits here, bits there. Really started clearing off this backlog of CRM support tickets. That become a bit more of a role for me. So I then got my qualifications in Sage CRM, and really it kind of went from there, just delivering more and more CRM support, and that spanned into project work and then spanned into pre-sales and sales, and sort of took it from there really.
And I think that's about where you and I met the first time, is when you were working at this business partner and you becoming the CRM specialist for them, right? Which, yes, as you've reminded me, is quite a long time ago now. You subsequently moved on from them and set up your own house, which is the Qmulus brand, right? So tell us more about why you did that.
Whilst I was doing Sage CRM, predominantly in the UK at least, a lot of the people that deliver Sage software, the business partners, are accounts focused. They would sell an account system such as Sage 50, Sage 200 in the UK, and the CRM product would be an integration added onto it, and it would have its own benefits, etc. But those projects were predominantly run as accounts implementation projects, and the CRM part was sort of tagged into it, run as almost in the account structure, whereas CRM projects are a lot more fluid. There's a lot more investigation required. There's a lot more sort of understanding of business processes. So it's not just about ledgers, etc. It's much more about understanding the pains and needs of businesses and being able to get them to articulate those issues to you, and then for you to be able to then deliver that within the Sage CRM product. It was a sort of natural progression to look at how I wanted to implement CRM systems rather than implementing them as an integrated solution.
It's interesting you say that. We've talked on a couple of the other episodes with other partners about this idea that CRM is much more a grey area rather than a binary implementation. Do you need a chart of accounts? What reports do you need? Is that your interpretation of it as well?
100%, yes, exactly right. And not only that, but the CRM system is quite often like a sort of living, breathing thing. It's always changing and evolving. And your relationship with customers is a journey for both of you as a partnership, not just I'm providing some software and support if it goes wrong. People are always looking at new ways that they want their business to go, new directions, maybe new ways they want to use CRM. So people that wanted to start doing support tickets that they hadn't done before, or there's a marketing requirement, and the way in which they use the system is quite fluid. It's not unknown to add fields and then 6 months later take those fields away because they've changed the process or have repurposed or have not doing that particular short-term thing.
Right. So what you've highlighted there is your interest really was in that more fluid type arrangement. And you've also said that the integrated story was often dealt with by some partners as trying to be an accounts implementation. So I'm guessing you didn't see that working very well, and that's what inspired you to start your own business?
Yeah, it was along those lines. I mean, I wouldn't say that those implementations were overly bad, but with an accounts implementation, you could say, for example, Sage 200 financials and commercials with some training, with some implementation, it's 10 days. And you might add another module, that might add another day or two on, or take a module off, etc. So you can fairly easily dict and therefore cost a particular project that the customer's going to buy. But with a CRM project, you either need to deliver it out of the box or you need to scope it very heavily, and a lot of that happens at the start, and that can end up elongating both the sales cycle and also increasing the cost to the customer. And it can be seen sometimes, depending on how it's sold, as a slight barrier to implementing an account system. And so what would invariably happen is that the CRM product would be pitched as this is what it can do, and we're going to deliver that in phase 2. And quite often that phase 2 never came around. What we try and do is we actually implement accounts and CRM systems, but as a solution. Rather than looking at it as two different modules that have their own thing, we would pitch the whole solution of a back office and a front office application. And the back office application, therefore, we can change. It could be Sage 50 or Sage 200 or Sage X3. That's part of the solution, but it's not product led as far as the account system in the way that we sell.
So you very much lead with CRM being the core, the beginning point, the entry to it all, and then you would apply the accounts implementation within that. Has that been a recipe for success for you then in your business?
We quite quickly become the number one partner in the UK and have held that position for quite a while now as far as sales volume is concerned. And so there's proven success, I guess, with how we deliver, how we at least pitch and sell our projects and scope our projects to show that customers are happy with the way in which we put the solution together. That's been ongoing in where we sit with that. And we've consistently sold quite a lot of the CRM seats in the UK, and we've grown to be a business partner that pretty much all of the other business partners know about. But we're also, on top of that, trusted, or we like to think we're trusted within the community, being able to give advice and direction about whether the product's suitable, what can it do, what can't it do. And that sort of led into our additions and add-ons that we've been providing both for our customers and other business partners.
So I want to talk to you about the add-ons as well in a moment, if I may. You touched there on the idea of integrating CRM with Sage 50 or Sage X3, and we know that traditionally the product Sage CRM is positioned with the Sage 200 franchise products, and in the UK it actually is called Sage 200. Have you used different tools and techniques to connect to other tools like 50, like X3?
Well, when we first started, there was a couple of tools that we'd used to connect to Sage 50, but because they weren't our own authored products, you're always sort of limited by the way in which those integrations work. So we took the decision fairly early on to start developing and writing our own integration into Sage 50, the UK version of Sage 50. If I'm honest, that's been one of the key reasons for our success. The amount of customers that have bought Sage CRM from us initially, but also from other partners as they started reselling our add-ons, it's grown and grown and grown. Having the ability to tailor and flex and change that integration, not just to match our customers, but other partners, has really been one of the sort of key driving points behind our success as a business.
Okay, now I'm probably asking a question that Jeff, I know, would want to ask as well, but let me ask it on your behalf, Mr. Richards. What features of the product?
Thank you very much.
What features of the product of CRM particularly allow you that flexibility to build connectors and flex them to do what you want?
A lot of it revolves around the APIs. Originally, we were working with the SOAP API, and now we're working with the new S-Data 2 API for various different things.
Prefer the word REST.
The REST API, yeah. It's the old SOAP one and the REST one. But the ability for those APIs natively to both expose the whole of the system, but also to expose customizations, additional fields, additional entities and tables as you add them to the system, has allowed us to be able to modify and tailor the Sage CRM system and our integrations to match the requirements of the customers. Sage CRM really does, as a product, lend itself to being tailored specifically to match customers. Not only, I know a lot of CRM systems can be tailored and tweaked. The Sage CRM has a really quick and easy, intuitive user interface that will allow people to quickly add fields and whole new tables with their own fields, etc. And also the ability, when those calls to the APIs are made, to actually trigger internal Sage CRM events like table scripts, etc. if you want to, and actually have the standard front-end UI processing to run in part by the APIs has really allowed us to open up the ability for the system to integrate into account systems and be beneficial to customers.
Next time, Jeff talks with Danny about technical trends he's seeing and why this matters to customers, plus a conversation about the skills gap in both resellers and customers and how Qmulus bridged the gap for CRM success. You've been listening to Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems.